إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد. As we promised, this is the start of the explanation on the usul al-thalatha, the three fundamental principles. As you all know, it's a booklet, not a book, a booklet on Tawheed. And we've mentioned it many times. It's very small in words, but has some great, great meanings. These meanings no one can be ignorant of. Scholars have always discussed this book and taught it among the first that is taught in Tawheed. And if you really look into the three principles, what he means about those principles, they're in reality the matters you're going to be asked about in your grave. So you need to know really as best as one knows those three principles. And you need to apply them. So when you're asked about them in the grave, you quickly go through them, inshallah. We start gradually because knowledge in Islam is to be taken gradual. You don't wake up overnight a alim or a sheikh. Ibn Abd al-Barr in his book Al-Jami' said, Az-Zuhri said, من رام العلم جملة ذهب عنه جملة. من رام العلم جملة ذهب عنه جملة. إنما يطلب العلم على مر الأيام والليالي. Ibn Abd al-Barr in his book Al-Jami' said, whoever seeks to get knowledge in a lump sum overnight, it leaves him, knowledge leaves him, it ends up leaving him in a lump sum. Knowledge is to be attained slowly over days and nights. Knowledge needs patience, it needs persistence. It's a step-by-step process. You don't go, for example, to some in-depth aqeedah books and then getting frustrated and facing complex matters you can't break down, which you would have been able to do had you went in a step-by-step process. Some brothers tell me they're studying aqeedah books, Tawheed books that ulama have had hard time breaking down. And the bigger problem is they're studying it on their own, and to top that off, they're not even studying it in the language of the author. So explain to me how you can understand it like that. If you are unable to get to a teacher, which many, especially this day and age, they can't get to a teacher, that's a whole different story. But you still gotta at least know how to start. Now this is a startup book on Tawheed, and even though you can sit and read this book right now, as before I even finish this introduction, you can probably have the book done reading it. It still needs to be broken down, sentence by sentence, so the student of knowledge understands the deep meaning of what that book really entails. If you start in the step-by-step process and you find it difficult, which you may be able, you finding it difficult, never ever give up. This simple book that you have before your hand, I studied it cover to cover with 11 different shuyukh. And portions of it I studied with even more than that. But the entire booklet with 11 different shuyukh. Al-Khatib al-Baghdadi in his book Al-Jami' narrated, a student of knowledge went to the shuyukh of hadith to learn. He found knowledge of hadith is very difficult. He got frustrated and he said, this is not for me. One day he was walking, casual walk, and he seen water dripping on a stone, maybe a spring. If you've ever seen a spring, especially where water's been dripping on a stone for years and years, or even if you look at a fountain that's been dripping on a stone or even cement, it dents it. It dents the cement or the rock over the years. Water. He said to himself, wow, look at that. Water as light as it is, latif, soft, mild. It affected a stone as hard as it is. He said, knowledge is softer and lighter than water. My heart and my mind are not as hard as a rock. He went back to studying hadith and became a very well reputable, famous scholar of hadith. Start gradually. And as you go on, move patiently. Move forward patiently. This is the start of the classical study we mentioned, and it's to create, I'm not going to say students of knowledge, inshallah, it's to create ulama. The other lectures we did, and we will continue to do, like the University of Yusuf, the Ultimate Pleasure, the Love and Fear series, the question and answers, they're informative, inspirational. There's definitely knowledge in them. That's not what makes a alim. Those kind of lectures are not what can make a alim. If you hear a lecture here and there and attend a 2-day seminar, an event and trailer here and there, that's good. But if that's what makes a alim, then the whole ummah is ulama. Because your fathers have been attending Jum'ah for about 15, 60 years. And they've been attending lectures between Maghrib and Isha for even more of a similar time. There's a structured study to becoming a student of knowledge and alim. There's uncountable number of benefits in studying Islam in the classical way. This is a step-by-step process that will encompass the Medina program, inshallah, and even more than that, bi'idhnihi ta'ala, if Allah blesses us to continue.